at the start of this historic 750 Formula Series race. We're waiting for the 5-second board to be shown. So it's John Village, 3-time winner already this season at Alton Park, and Pembrey on pole, and alongside him Richard Pryor as the race gets underway then, and it's a pretty even start by the two of them on the front row of the grid. A good start too by Christian Pedersen from the second row of the grid, and it looks to me as if that yellow Austin 7 on the left hand side of the circuit is going to sweep into the lead. That's the Pryor car, number 27. It looked like he might have dropped down a position or two, and we'll pick up on that in a moment, but it looks like it's John Village there in second behind the yellow and green car, the Austin 7 of Pedersen. But is that going to last much longer? Because Richard Pryor trying to drive all the way around the outside, and I think he might just do it. That's at the Wilson hairpin, but no, as Pedersen can accelerate towards Palmer, he gets his car back in front, but it's side by side for second, Josh, as they head through Palmer and down to Agostini for the first time.
Yeah, that's right. So the Austin 7 of Christian Pedersen's got the more power, at 90 brake horsepower. The two cars behind, 65 to 70 brake horsepower, something like that, in the historic 750 Formula 850cc cars. So it's going to be an interesting battle to see the more powerful, more potent Austin 7 in the straights against the more nimble 750 Formula cars that are behind Pedersen, so who won a lot of these races in the past, but hasn't won so many lately as Pedersen. And here comes John Village up the inside into the right-hander there at Oggies, and he goes through, and Richard Pryor behind spins, so Richard Pryor spun out of the back lateral for the lead. He's still side by side because Pedersen, using the power, stayed there on the outside, but he's not able to do it into the bends, so John Village slices through and he tries to make up as much time as possible through Williams, because he knows down this long straight Christian Pedersen will be accelerating back towards him. And
we'll see where Richard Pryor is in all of this after that spin in the background there through Oggies. But it's certainly John Village leading then at the moment, as one car in trouble, driver with his hand in the air, going to pull off onto the side of the circuit, hopefully close to that Marshall's post there, so the Marshals can deal with that situation. But the leaders heading into Brundle and through Nelson now for the first time in this race. And it is John Village that is leading then from Christian Pedersen in second as they head now through Coram Curve for the first time. And these two have probably got about 8 or 10 car lengths between them as they head up towards Murray's for the first time.
Yeah, it looks like Graham Wilson's there in third, who I caught up with yesterday. He was telling me that his uncle used to race in this championship back when these cars were in period. He went to Alton Park a few years ago, saw the cars and thought, I want to get involved. But it's side by side for the lead across the line, because Pedersen, using that extra 20 brake horsepower or so, accelerates back ahead, going up towards Rich's, ahead of John Village. For third place, Graham Wilson is under pressure from Timothy Sage, who's out there in the Mallock, isn't he? One of the early U2s. So that's sort of an early clubman's car, I guess, that's out there as well as the 750 Formula cars and the Austin 7s. The first of the supercharged Austin 7s is in 8th position. That's Tim Roebuck, who always goes well in this car. I mean, the leaders together, Ian.
Yeah, and they're heading out of Wilson down towards Palmer once again, pretty much nose to tail between Christian Pedersen and John Village. There was just 1800ths of a second between them as they crossed the line at the end of the first lap, and quite a long way ahead then of Graham Wilson and Timothy Sage in third and fourth position. We'll try and pick them up in a moment. Obviously just one or two technical differences.
Richard Pryor, who finished third position as his best result in the scratch races so far this season. John Village unbeaten No, sorry, he won 2, didn't he? Christian Pedersen did win 1 actually earlier in the year.
Just seeing the cars head down the Bentley Straight towards Brundle and Nelson there. There is John Village, and he is in the lead of the race from Christian Pedersen. Richard Pryor's been off the road again by the looks of it. Where did he come through at the end of the first lap? He came through in 9th position. He's had another moment there, and he's just rejoined behind Timothy Roebuck, who he was behind in any case, I think there, Josh.
Yeah, certainly the start of the lap. I think he'd got past Roebuck and caught the next group. Meanwhile, the leaders are side by side again, heading up towards Ritchie. Now, this continues for the rest of the race. It could be interesting, couldn't it? This would probably be a 6-lap race, I think.
Yeah, looking at lap times.
And we got 37 off the road, by the way. That's Tim Ellison in the Contour.
Yeah, Centaur. Centaur Mark 16.
So that's stopped out on the circuit.
Yeah, so he's disappointingly out of the race. Where did he qualify? He qualified on row 8 of the grid, so that's a great shame for Tim. Going to clamber out of his car by the looks of it. And you can see the cars exiting Ritchie's and heading up towards the Wilson hairpin. One of the Austin 7s going through shot there is number 18, Timothy Roebuck, and he does lead the supercharged Austin 7 class on this occasion in 8th place overall.
The leaders are up at the Agostini hairpin, where Christian Pedersen was ahead into the corner, but through and out of the corner. You can see there, John Village is back ahead. So it's multiple place changes between these two very different types of car, which this category is all about, this historic 750 Formula category that brings lots of different types of car into the series. And the leading car, the Christian Pedersen car that runs, I think, on methanol, doesn't it? The Miss Green Austin 7, and then John Village's 750cc car. It's very different speed. Got the supercharged car there of Pedersen back in 2nd place, but I wonder when he'll be able to get back in front of John Village again. Both these drivers are going quicker than qualifying. Christian Pedersen is going to the extent of 8 seconds faster than he went in qualifying this morning. Yeah, we've not yet had a lap record though, have we? That was set by Richard Pryor last year, 2:29.44. We're not below the 2-minute 30-second barrier yet today. Tim Roebuck, though, has broken the Austin 7 supercharged lap record by 4 seconds already on the first flying lap of the race. So he's going pretty rapidly. The standard Austin 7 class is that Richard Verheyden, I think, who leads that one. So ahead of Charlie Plain Jones, which doesn't happen very often. Charlie Plain Jones won a lot of these races in this sort of this new class that was put together with it last year, I think. Yeah, the supercharged and supercharged Austin 7s separated out. There you can see the 88 car on screen, and that is the car of Jerry Fincham, his DNC. I think also involved is the number 19 car of the veteran John Ingram in his Arthur Mark II. So nice to see those two cars out on track. They're in 15th and 16th position in this race, which is now 3 laps old because John Village has gone through 9/10 of a second ahead of Christian Pedersen at the end of lap 3. Yeah, and for the first time in this race, Pedersen didn't lead into Ritchie, so John Village has sort of fought off that challenge going onto the infield. Richard Pryor across the line is now 6th, so he's I think had a better lap that time. He's got himself just ahead of Lyndon Fruston on that last lap, so he's gaining positions. Very long lap as well, there's nearly 3 miles in length. So it is a sort of 2.5 minute plus lap time, although John Village having broken the 2-minute 30 barrier for the first time with a 2:29.94. Just had Charles Cooling past us, he's 10th, he's having his first race I think today. Just 28 years of age. Yeah. So having a good run there in DNC from 1972. Yeah. Richard Pryor is his future father-in-law, also racing in the same class. And Charles actually works in composites at Alpine F1. So there's John Village then, who goes through Williams ahead of Christian Pedersen. So Pedersen goes out of Williams still as the race leader. So it's John Village still there ahead of Christian Pedersen. The pair of them are 20 seconds ahead of Tim Sage, who's there in 3rd position. 4th for Graham Wilson, 5th for Trevor Slatter, 6th for Richard Pryor, 7th for Lyndon Fruston, 8th for Nigel Roebuck, 9th Tim Roebuck, and as we said in 10th place Charles Cooling. So we have just over 5 minutes of the race to go. The fourth lap of the race is currently ongoing, and John Village and Christian Pedersen making that towards the end of that fourth lap.
Yep, so we're here with 5 minutes of the race remaining at Snetterton on the 300 circuit, this historic 750 Formula Series race. And we've got a bevy of Austin 7s going over the line just in front of the two race leaders, but that's problems for Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's right. He's just going out of Williams very slowly. We said he was gaining positions, but that's not the case anymore, is it? So Richard Pryor. Oh, there's a big lock-up down there at Murray for Graham Wilson, I was talking about earlier. So he's had a bit of a moment. He was in fourth position just behind Tim Sage. So Tim Sage now with a bigger gap in third. Trevor Slatter is there in fourth position, and Graham Wilson, after that moment at Murray's a moment ago, has dropped to fifth. But those three are 25 seconds behind the top two, John Village and Christian Pedersen, who on that lap are only separated by 3/4 of a second. So the battle for the lead is pretty close again as they get into lap traffic now on this fifth lap of the race. Tim Roebuck goes across the line. He still leads the supercharged class. He's in 8th overall. And then the normally aspirated cars are still led by Richard Verheyden, who continues to go well ahead of Charlie Plain Jones, some 20 seconds or so. Then Matthew Pryor is there in third position, who I think is another driver making his race debut this weekend.
Indeed so. So we're coming towards the end of this race now here at Snetterton, and as we see the 88 car go across the line, that is the car of Jerry Fincham, the DNC, and he is still there in 12th position, one of the Class C drivers of course. It's John Village leading by 3/4 of a second, but those two 24 seconds clear of the rest, who in turn are headed by Timothy Sage and that number 42 Malak, the Malak Q2 Mark 4, and Trevor Slatter number 72 in 4th position, Graham Wilson 5th, and Nigel Howard completing the top 6. As it's not going to be too much longer before we get John Village back through to complete another lap, as Richard Pryor, we can see, is in the pit lane now and out of the race, Josh. Yeah, that's right. The leaders turn their way through Murray, still together, still a long way ahead of everybody else. Is Christian Pedersen this time close enough to accelerate past up to the line? Well, it's pretty close. If this was the last lap of the race, it would have gone Pedersen's way, because it's back ahead as they go across the line to the tune of 900ths of a second. So there's nothing between them as they cross the line, but it's Pedersen back ahead then to start this last lap of the race, which means that John Village will have to do some work on this last lap, and he's challenging Pedersen, I think, down into the Wilson hairpin. After they get out of the hairpin, there's yellow flags because there's a car that has pulled off up there. Notice we've lost Ben Myland earlier on, one of the drivers, but it is Pedersen still ahead then of Village as they turn their way into the yellow flag zone at Palmer, so no overtaking here, but on the exit of the corner the green flags wave. So John Village, is he going to attack down towards Agostini? We've seen him pass here before. He pulls to the left hand side of the circuit, he brakes late, he slots back ahead. So John Village once more the race leader, but whether he can pull up a big enough gap before the run to the line is yet to be seen. So it could go either way, I suggest, at this point of the race here. Yep, it could certainly do that. 900ths, as you say, over the line between first and second. It is all going to be about that last drag race. There's only a minute of the race to go, so only about half a lap to go for the race leaders. Just trying to pick up exactly where on circuit they are at the moment. I think they just head back onto the Bentley Straight then for the final time in this race. Head towards Brundle Nelson. Yeah, you can see Pedersen just reeling him in all the way down the straight. So if Pedersen can get through into Brundle, I wonder if that might be job done. But let's see if John Village can hang on as they go into the S's here. And I think he has. John Village leads here, but on the
on about half the laps, Pedersen's accelerated ahead by the line. On the other half of the laps, John Village has stayed ahead, so it could go either way still. They've got no traffic to deal with. That should help John Village, you'd think, so he can run his own line, which he wasn't able to do a lap ago. So they turn their way through Coram, and there's not that many car lengths between them at this stage yet.
About 6 or 7 car lengths maybe into Maurice for the final time, so it's all about whether Christian Pedersen can get the run to the line. We've had 15 minutes now on the clock, so it is just a question of whether Christian Pedersen can get him on the run to the line. I think he's going to be able to. Yes, he does. About 50 yards before the checkered flag, Christian Pedersen sweeps in front, and it's Christian Pedersen, therefore, that takes the win by 37 100ths of a second in the end. So number 200, Christian Pedersen, it is that takes the victory then from number 29, John Village, in second place. And it's quite a long gap back then to third position. I think they're just at Murray's now, possibly the cars for the minor places now. That's a lapped car, isn't it, that's coming through next?
Up at Coram is where we find
yes.
Tim Sage, been caught by Trevor Slatter, I think, in his last lap, hasn't he? Actually, no, sorry, they are coming at Murray's, aren't they? So it's another battle a bit further back. Sage had kind of been caught by Slatter, though, but not enough to challenge.
Yes, about 3 seconds between them at the end. And then it should be Graham Wilson and Nigel Howard coming off the line.
Off the road at Murray's is Graham Wilson.
Yeah, so it's going to be Nigel Howard that's going to come through to take 5th position in the number 2 car. There you can see on screen the number 7 car of Graham Wilson, and recovering from that spin. I think he's still going to come through to take 6th position then. And then 7th should be the winner of our supercharged Austin 7 class, which will be Timothy Roebuck. Not got him through yet, but we do have the 99 car just going through. That's David Lewis to police race. Timothy Roebuck there goes across the line. He's actually chased over the line by one of the Class C cars, and that's Roger Rowe, the former 750 Formula champion. So he takes 8th place. And then it should be Simon Gallen in 9th position, and 10th place will actually go the way of 88, Joe Fincham, who gradually made his way up the order during the course of that race.
Yeah, that's right. The nationally aspirated Austin 7s, normally aspirated Austin 7, should go the way of Richard Verheyden, who in the end was 40 seconds clear of Matthew Pryor and William Kirk, who've both got past Charlie Plain-Jones, which doesn't happen very often. Yeah, Plain-Jones' last lap was pretty slow, so not sure if all is well with his car there, but it's Richard Verheyden who will win Class A. And so far this season, Nick Haywood-Cook won at Alton. Verheyden won the handicap race there, and then Charlie Plain-Jones won the 2 races at Pembury. See, though, already so far they were ahead. John Village and Christian Pedersen have already made their way down into Parc Fermé.